But in finishing, I want to address you to the subject of bitterness that is very heavy on our social media. And bitterness is always a byproduct of a failed explanation or insufficiency of reason. When the explanation is not there, or when the reason is not there, the resultant effect is bitterness. And that's why, and I'm sure ladies will understand me much better in this, that's why a gentleman who has some money and the one who doesn't have respond differently to the same thing. When you pass by Kempinski and you tell him, let's have lunch, the one who has money sees communication of hunger. But the one who doesn't thinks you're looking down on him. Thinks you're attacking them.
Justice for no
That is why. And that is why the same happens in our election. And as we move towards the election, there is always some type of people that will always be bitter. Historically, the bitter people have always been government people. Why? Because it is always government that has insufficiency of reason and failed explanation to the simple question, what have you done for us to trust you for another term? But something very weird is happening in the election today, that the bitter people are the ones who are against government. Why? Because government today can answer that question sufficiently. And it's outside there answering that question and saying, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this. But now, on the other side, the same question is attracting bitterness. I argue that this is actually the first government to go to the election without bitterness, but with answers and facts to the simple question, what have you done for us to trust you for the another term, and what do you intend to do? And that's why the bitter people are the ones in the opposition, because they don't want those questions. The moment you ask them that, they get very bitter. This is the first one. President Kibaki and President Moi always went to the election with a strategy, with a political strategy. Divide the numbers of the opposition and get a simple majority. And that's how he always came back. Nothing about the question why. President Kibaki went to his re-election armed with only two things: the ECK chair and the police. We went fast forward, and President Uhuru Kenyatta went to his re-election armed with only one thing: blackmail of the people to be able to reward him for his birthday. If you remember very well, we went to the election saying, it's the president's birthday. Let's give him. So we rendered our hopes and aspirations as a country and all our dreams on the basis of a birthday. This is the first time that a government is going to the people armed with the answers to the question, why? The very questions that the citizens have always needed. And this is also the first time that the opposition is the one that is bitter and not the government. And that's why you are seeing attacks happening more on people who want the government to come back more than the latter. Most of the time previously, it's always been governments that are bitter because they can't explain why they will attack those ones who are asking the questions. Today, it is those ones without the answers attacking those ones with the answers. So we as the people must then ask ourselves the fundamental question, who will actually take our country to the next level? Thank you.
Clock it. Yes.
You know, speaking after people